Before the internet was mapped by algorithms, it was quiet. People sat alone in darkened rooms, looking into glowing screens, for the simple comfort of knowing someone else was out there. The videos from this era were unpolished. Creators filmed themselves on grainy webcams in their bedrooms. There were no studio lights, no jump cuts, and no calls to action. They turned the camera on because they were struggling. They shared their anxieties and their quiet victories, hoping to find an audience who felt the exact same way. There were no analytics dashboards dictating what they should say next. Making a video didn't pay the rent, and there were no financial incentives driving their upload schedule. It was a direct, unfiltered exchange, one person talking to another, entirely insulated from the pressure to scale or monetize. Eventually, platform engineers noticed a pattern in the user data. Videos dealing with vulnerability and personal struggle held viewer attention significantly longer than other formats. When platforms started attaching pre-roll advertisements to these videos and splitting the revenue, the abstract concept of self-improvement hardened into a highly lucrative industry. The objective shifted. Creators began studying which specific phrases kept an audience from clicking away, optimizing their titles and thumbnails to capture the widest possible demographic. Human vulnerability was now a trackable, measurable metric. The creators treating their channels like diaries were quickly marginalized by those treating them as business strategy. A new demographic took over the feeds. They recorded from the tarmac next to leased private jets and walked through rented mansions, selling high-ticket online courses. The pitch abandoned personal peace for financial dominance. They engineered content to trigger financial anxiety, offering their paid curriculum as the only escape route. The motivation they offered was a mechanism for a different product entirely. The actual curriculum taught buyers how to replicate this exact strategy, to exploit the algorithm and capture their own share of digital attention. The grainy webcams were replaced by hyper-edited montages, aggressive background tracks, and bold text demanding you wake up at 4 a.m. to grind. Content that was once meant to heal was repurposed to make you feel like you were falling behind. The industry began thriving by actively manufacturing a deficit in the viewer. Paying a human to stand in front of a camera eats into profit margins. For those treating motivation strictly as a business, the logical endpoint was to remove the creator entirely. This graph tracks advertising payouts per 1,000 views. Standard entertainment channels see modest returns, but finance and motivation content triggers an explosive vertical spike, pushing payouts toward a highly inflated $40 RPM mark. To capture those high payouts at scale, the process is fully automated. Operators deploy AI models like Grok to aggressively scrape the internet, identifying topics that have already proven to hold human attention. Those topics are fed into language models like Claude. In a matter of seconds, the AI outputs long-form scripts embedded with psychological hooks engineered specifically to maximize watch time. Image generators like Seedance 2.0 and AutoWhisk take the script and bulk render the visuals. Entire branded videos are manufactured without anyone ever touching a camera. Operators run this pipeline on a loop. Within 30 days, they can clone a successful format and flood the platform with hundreds of hyper-optimized uploads. The sheer volume of this output breaks the platform's discovery systems. Anyone taking the time to film a genuine video is instantly buried under a mountain of machine-generated content. The life advice accumulating millions of views on your feed does not come from lived experience. It is the calculated output of an algorithm prompt. For the viewer on the other side of the screen, the result is deep psychological fatigue. They are subjected to an endless, frictionless loop of artificial perfection. That exhaustion eventually translated into data. Users stopped engaging and started closing the app, a behavioral shift that directly threatened the platform's core advertising model. The platform was forced to intervene. YouTube deployed a sweeping demonetization wave explicitly targeting these mass-produced automated channels. The financial pipeline broke overnight. Channels that had accumulated millions of views were abruptly severed from the payout structure, rendering the automated factories economically useless. The system had to violently purge the exact type of content it originally incentivized. An algorithm optimizing purely for attention eventually strips away all actual human value. The architecture of the modern internet found human insecurity and built a casino around it, harvesting every moment of self-doubt to keep eyes on the screen. The automated videos offered a clean, highly saturated shortcut to success. But actual self-improvement is slow, quiet, and largely unglamorous. Healing requires stepping away from the metric-driven loop entirely. Lived wisdom cannot be mass-produced. True resilience is built in the physical reality that exists the moment the screen goes dark.